Recently, it's been pretty difficult to find the time to go birding. It has just been so busy recently, but on one Sunday afternoon I found a few hours of freedom, and so I decided to take a short nature walk with my roommate at Yellow Fork Canyon in hopes of exploring the pinyon juniper woodland and seeing what species we could find. Hey everyone, welcome back. Just a short birding adventure today. I needed to get out of the house a bit, and so we came to the very southwestern part of Salt Lake County, and we're looking for birds here in Yellow Fork Canyon. It's a very interesting transitional period, so let's see what we can find today. And I say transitional period because most of our fall migrants have already left Utah, and some of the overwintering birds are just now starting to pop up here and there. So it's a little weird birding the forest because you're going to see a lot lower amounts of species. We started this walk not seeing much just like that. However, we did come across this cute little guy that I believe to be a stoat with its winter coat. Just adorable. Well, we've hiked about a mile here and it's super nice out, honestly. It's just about 50 degrees and there's a slight chill in the air that feels so good. I absolutely just love this kind of weather. Unfortunately, not seeing too many birds. We've got a couple chickadees, a dark-eyed junco, and hearing a few ravens around, but nothing that's really presented itself for any good videos or photos, so it's kind of slow for you most likely, but it's still just so enjoyable to be out here. Everything feels so still. There's not too much of a breeze, and like I mentioned, the weather is just perfect. So very, very nice walk. The incline's not too bad either, so I can just kind of go and enjoy myself. Hopefully we'll come across a few more birds here in a second though. Well, Courtney and I have both commented that it's been kind of weird how little we've actually seen on this hike. We've now reached just about a mile and a half up this trail, and outside of a few ravens along the way, there's been very little amount of birds. It is kind of eerie how still everything is. There's a lack of wind, there's not much noise outside of a few other people walking by, and every time we stop to listen, see if we can hear any birds, the only thing we can tell is the creek running alongside us, just the trickle of the water, which of course is a beautiful sound, one of my favorite sounds of nature actually, but I'm always hoping there's going to be some bird chirps or some calls that I pick out that I can go actually film something, but so far there's been nothing, which is interesting. That being said, it's certainly not been a bad day. It's always nice to be out in nature, and this is kind of the risk you run sometimes of checking out a new place, especially when you're birding on the non-peak seasons. The fall migration has just finished up now, and we're moving into the winter period where the most exciting thing to film and go out looking for is a lot of our duck species and mergansers, as well as gulls. So we're kind of in a transitional period right now. I didn't expect there to be a lot of birds around, but I thought we could at least get a handful to show you. So far, no luck though. But I'm sure we're gonna find at least something when we head back on the way down, or maybe we'll go up a little bit more here and come across a few bird species. Fingers crossed that I'll actually be able to get them on camera though. At this point, we turned back and started heading back down the canyon. However, on the way down, we finally come across some birds, and right before we were about to start hiking back down, I got my first glimpse and footage of a bird on this day. I quickly got some handheld shots of it so I could at least include something here, and as it turns head, you might be able to tell that this is a Townsend's solitaire. A really cool bird that I don't see super frequently. It is found in a little bit higher elevations for us here in Utah. A very sleek looking bird that's mostly gray with a little white eye ring. Now the Townsend solitaire is part of the thrush family, just like our more common American robin. They're very similar size and shape to the robin, and that's what I thought it was at first when it flew up in front of me. And the birds continued with a flock of dark-eyed juncos that moved through the brush right in front of us. I was having a tough time, as you could tell, trying to get the focus on the birds amidst all of these branches. I think I managed to do okay, but then a few popped out closer in front of me and I was able to get them sharp for you to see. Now, the dark-eyed junco is a favorite amongst many to try and identify the various subspecies. I'm not super well versed in this kind of identification though, so I can't tell you specifically, but if you know what subspecies that I'm looking at here, let me know in the comments. So we didn't get totally skunked here getting some good shots of some birds, so excited about that. We're now making our way back down the trail towards the trailhead. Probably not too much else in this adventure, but I think we'll come across just a couple more birds because the base near the trailhead seemed to be a little bit more active than this area up here where we are now. So let's hope there's a few more birds still being active when we get back there. As we rounded out the last remaining bits of our hike, there were a few chickadees and a couple of other small birds that came through really quickly, and some ravens flying overhead again that I could not film, but I did get one more look at another Townsend solitaire. Maybe could have been the same one that followed us down the trail, but I think this was a different bird. And that was basically all we had on this adventure. The sun started to get lower, and we wrapped up our short little nature walk. Well, not a bad little outing. Again, not too many birds. However, that's just sometimes how it goes. And I wanted to show you just a realistic look, and I was out here to enjoy the nature. I'm really pumped up about those Townsend solitaire. That is something I've only seen probably single-digit times this year. It's really cool to get a couple of good looks at those. And when you see so few birds, you appreciate every single one you're able to get a good look at. I unfortunately didn't come across any scrub jays. I heard a bunch of them. I wanted to get some really good close-up shots of them, but I will have to do that in a future video. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the new stuff coming out. Thank you as always for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Happy birding.